fellow countrymen. While the external factors contributing to this decline cannot be denied, the truth of the matter is that the incompetence and malpractices of the previous government had so permeated all facets of national life that the nation was left to drift without any sense of direction. Thus, instead of economic development, there was a national slide into poverty and economic malaise. It was as if the light had gone out of the nation's life, with no one in charge to rekindle it. As if that were not enough, as distinguished members are aware, last year, as a result of the civil war which had been raging in Liberia, at a time when Liberians had turned against each other, engaging themselves in an orgy of massacre, the people of Sierra Leone opened their homes and schools to them and offered them sanctuary. In order to end the killings and consequent suffering which they had to endure, and in the absence of any semblance of government in that country, the states of the sub-region, including Sierra Leone, with great reluctance and purely on humanitarian grounds, decided to send a peacekeeping force, the Economic Community Monitoring Group, or ECOMOG, to Liberia to stop the carnage and bring the fighting among the various factions to an end. It was because Sierra Leone provided a base for the ECOMOG peacekeeping force in Liberia that Mr. Charles Taylor and his band of NPFL rebels launched a premeditated and unwarranted invasion against our country. This senseless act of revenge was also motivated by the fact that Taylor had been denied the use of our territory to infiltrate arms and ammunition to prolong the conflict in Liberia. Thus, because we allowed our country to be used to bring peace to Liberia, we now have a war imposed on us. In the course of this act of perfidy, many innocent lives, including those of women and children, have been needlessly lost. The national economy lay in ruins, as no meaningful agricultural and mining activities could be undertaken in the areas of rebel activity. Mr. President, distinguished delegates, the cost of this imposed war for Sierra Leone and its people has been incalculable and agonizing. As custodian of international peace and security, this organization cannot sit idly by while a group of armed bandits let loose as a result of a total breakdown of law and order in a neighboring state continue to engage on a campaign of terror and destabilization of the whole sub-region. On behalf of the people of Sierra Leone, I appeal, strongly appeal, to this august body for its economic, military, and diplomatic support to once and for all eliminate this cancer which, if not stopped in its track, could lead to further destabilization and insecurity in the whole sub-region. The government and people of Sierra Leone expect and deserve such support, especially when facing a mortal danger launched from without. We hold Mr. Charles Taylor responsible for the suffering Sierra Leoneans have had to endure as a result of his acts of murder, banditry, and international lawlessness. But my country need not have been left so exposed and unprepared for such acts of aggression. Our people need not have suffered such ordeal. If only the previous government had taken its responsibilities seriously. If only the necessary material and logistic support had been provided for the armed forces to repel such aggression. The previous regime again failed miserably to meet these challenges. Mr. President, not only did the previous government breach its social contract with the people and neglect their welfare, but it also failed to safeguard the territorial integrity of the nation. These factors impelled us as patriots in the armed forces to intervene in a bloodless takeover on the 29th April this year and set up the National Provisional Ruling Council to save our nation from further catastrophe. Herein lies the legitimacy of our action. We intervened because we saw no way out of our affliction, no future to match the sacrifice our people had been asked to make over many years. In assuming such onerous responsibility, my colleagues and I had no personal ambition to assume power for its own sake. We saw it as our patriotic duty to take bold and forthright action to save our beloved country from the political, economic, social, and moral decline which had engulfed it. As patriots, we felt we could not stand idly by and watch the total collapse of our nation. We had to act to put a country back on the rails of socio-economic development and to restore its moral fiber. Ours was a very popular move, a case of unrepentant patriotism, as evidenced by the mass support we received then and have continued to receive today. But by our action, our fellow citizens have once more found strength and inspiration. Once more, the light in them has started to spark and rekindle. Notwithstanding such popular approval and the efforts we have exerted to rehabilitate and reconstruct the socio-economic fabric of our nation, let me declare from this tribune that the government of the National Provisional Ruling Council has not come to stay in power. In the several decrees and proclamations issued since we assumed management of the affairs of the nation, we made our intentions and objectives quite clear. they remain the same. Firstly, to bring to an end the rebel war imposed against our country and to rehabilitate the devastated war areas. Secondly, to put the beleaguered economy of our country on a sound and solid foundation. Thirdly, to take all measures necessary for the recovery of all financial resources lawfully belonging to government. And finally, to relaunch the democratic process on a just, fair, and lasting basis. With regard to the Liberian invasion, my government is employing all the resources at its disposal to ensure that our gallant soldiers who are defending the nation at the war front carry out their duties in the proper spirit and atmosphere. Not only are the proper logistics being provided for them, but also their material welfare is being assured. But alas, against a weak economy such as ours, and facing an aggressor that receives armed support from a country in our continent, which sees it as its mission, the carrying out of revolutionary warfare and the spread of instability in the various regions of our continent and beyond, in the name of revolutionary ideals. My country should not be left alone to face such foreign onslaught. Hence, my plea to this organization for the necessary military, economic, and diplomatic support to repel
Ahmad Tijan Kaba Foundation for Peace, Tolerance, Human Rights and Democracy. If not, please visit our Facebook page, like and then follow us if you have not already done so, and be a part of the dialogue conversation in promoting peace, tolerance and national cohesion wherever you are. Quick question. Are you following the Ahmad Tijan Kaba Foundation for Peace, Tolerance, Human Rights and Democracy? If not, please visit our Facebook page, like and then follow us if you have not already done so, and be a part of the dialogue conversation in promoting peace, tolerance and national cohesion wherever you are.